now leaving the port of Tórshavn and we're heading for the Shetland Islands. We should theoretically be heading the other way, but we thought we'd sail a few extra miles and go north of Nólsoy to have a little bit of a further look up, because I don't know when we'll be back here again. And it's a very beautiful place to see. Here we have the helm concentrating hard.
Very hard.
It's a bit light and a bit fluky here.
Yeah, it is. It's a little all over the place, but that's fine. There's only 7 knots of wind, so a light wind is always more complicated than stronger winds. For me.
And over to this side, we have the island of Nólsoy. We're going to go north of that and then turn to starboard, head off for the Shetland Islands. We've had a really good time here in the Faroe Islands. It's absolutely beautiful and I would recommend coming here. The sailing can be challenging at times and the tides are very strong. Recommend the RAK app for your phone. It's pretty much essential for sailing around here.
Definitely.
And yeah, come up here, it's brilliant. We've made our turn around the top end of Nólsoy and as you can see the weather is fantastic.
Had to put my shades on, the sun is out and beaming so much, it's lovely.
There's puffins flying past. And there is the island of Nólsoy, with Tórshavn in the background. Our plan is to head straight from here to go round the top end of the Shetland Islands, round past Muckle Flugga. And then we're going to head south into Lerwick. That's the current plan. We'll see what happens.
So we've rounded the top of Nólsoy. You can see the cliffs there. Sea stack down there. Lovely flat conditions. Got anywhere between sort of 12 and 15 knots of wind. Some blue sky, some cloud. It's a beautiful day in the Faroe Islands.
We've got light winds today, so we've decided to put out the cruising chute. And we're flying along now. We've got about 10 knots of breeze and we're doing about 6 knots. Faroe Islands, leaving them to our stern. There's the lady in charge, making sure we are on the correct course. And away we go. The Faroe Islands. What a beautiful, beautiful place to visit. We've got about that much wind, 12 knots of wind, it's lovely. Sun's out, squinting in the sunshine, we've just had a bit of dinner. There's nothing out here, it's super quiet, super flat. It's just fantastic sailing. What do you reckon?
Well, there's no ships around, there's a few kittiwakes around the boat, there's blue sky, fluffy white clouds, full up tummy, having had tea. Gonna have a cup of tea when we can fit one in, but not for a minute. And looking forward to a nice calm night like this.
This is the view back towards the Faroe Islands. Doesn't get much better than this.
Just before 9 o'clock on the first day. I'm on watch between 2100 and midnight, so John's just gone down below, got himself ready and is going to take some sleep. I get this gorgeous still sea, 11 knots of wind, full main, full head sail, between 10 and 12 knots by southwesterly. So I'm tethered on whilst John's down below having his sleep, and we'll do a swap in 3 hours. Current speed 5759. You see from my chart plotter where we are. There's a cargo ship there passing in front, and these are a couple of fishing vessels going about their business. All good. 21:32 on the first night passage, just being passed by this general cargo vessel. Conditions are still the same, nice and flat, the same amount of wind. My reading material for when I'm on passage on my watch, I read a few paragraphs, sometimes a chapter depending on how busy it is, and then have a look around and then go back to reading. What a cracking view astern. That's the position at 10 o'clock. Quite a good little bit of speed going on here because we've got an upturn in the wind. Yep. I'll show you what we got. O'clock at night. Oh, sorry, not very good filming, but you can still see how bright it is out here. Not done anything with the camera, no brightness, no nothing. Just literally what it is. 5th of June, 11 o'clock at night. Really bright. It's almost like daylight out here. Seeing a little bit more swells coming through, and got wind of anywhere between 13 and 16 now, so I've decided for comfort put a first reef in the main, and I got first reef in the head sail as well, just to make life a little bit more comfortable and stop screwing up and round and up and down and in and out, so make life a bit comfortable. Slight increase in the swell height, and the winds anywhere between 12 and 15 knots. It's really nice comfortable sail. Still got first reef in the main and first reef in the head sail. Makes it nice and comfortable for both the boat, for me on the helm, and for John, who's having a bit of a sleep. He's off watch at the moment, I'm on watch. We do 3 hours each, suits us nicely. Everybody has their own watch patterns, but we like every 3 hours. So I've actually put my big coat on because it's a little chilly. Don't know how well this will come out, but we'll try anyway. So it's 11:30 on our first night of the passage from Torshavn, the Faroe Islands, and we're heading southeast, but south to the Shetland Islands, which feels kind of crazy when you think that you're heading south to the Shetlands. But I can't get my head around it, but we are sailing from Torshavn to Shetland. First day of the passage, really good, been great weather. The wind has been anywhere between 8 to start with. I've seen 16.5 this evening, but it's now settled down to around 13, 14, which is really nice and comfortable. I was going to read my book, as you saw. I had my reading material already, but with the wind being up and down a little bit, it's been quite an active sail trimming watch, so I've not even opened my book. Saw one ship only passed me by. Other than that, it's just me and the gulls, the sea and the wind. Nova Beta sailing along quite nicely. We're doing an average of about 5.5 to 6 knots. We've got 13 knots at the moment. Going really well. So soon be time for me to head off watch. John will be back on watch for 3 hours. I'll get some sleep. He'll be on watch. And then we'll do it all again in 3 hours' time. Have managed to have a cup of tea though. Day 2 for me of the passage from Faroes to Shetland. Another boat over there. The engine is on because we don't have enough wind to sail this. It's a little bit confused. It's very flat, but the swells are just too much to keep any wind in the sails. It's just a no-go. So we turn the engine on and John's off watch. Gonna have a cup of tea and a little bit of breakfast. Got tea and kind of chocolate. Very nice. Watch my bye. 12:30 on day 2 of our passage. We're currently in the Faroes Shetland Channel. The sky is blue and cloudy, the sea is flat, and there's about 5 knots of wind. So the engine is on, watching the fulmars circling the boat, looking out, see if I can spot anything else, wildlife and bird life wise, but nothing yet. There's time.
We've just had our first glimpse of the Shetland Islands. Dead ahead, we're going around the north end of Shetland, around Muckle Flugga and out Stack. We've got the head sail out for a bit of extra power and the engine on because we're plugging the tide quite hard at the moment. It's been a great day. The wind's been up and down, it's been light, and we've had to motor for a bit, and motor sail and sail. It's been a bit of a day of everything, but the sea state is absolutely flat. Really great sailing. And we're nearly at the Shetland Islands. Wow, amazing.
Shetland! There it is, the Shetland Isles. We're approaching from the north, so Shetland is there to our starboard. The sun is out over it for a minute, and then you might just about there, if I wasn't shaky and it wasn't so windy, Muckle Flugga lighthouse. Might get something a little closer in a minute. But there we are, Shetland Islands. Hee hee! Fantastic!
This this is what our evening looks like as we round the north end of the Shetland Islands. The wind's just giving us a little bit of a push round. Good stuff. It's 9:15 in the evening, and just behind Alison there you can see Muckle Flugga lighthouse.
That's the one at the top of Shetland.
I think we've timed it about right on the tides, so when we make our turn south the tide should be heading south with us, and then wind and tide will be in the same direction, so it'll be great to get to the anchorage. Tonight we're heading for Balta Sound to anchor up there and then see what tomorrow brings. The seas are a bit confused around the top here. We've come round the top of Shetland, come down, and we're going into Balta Sound, which is somewhere. Balta Sound is somewhere in there. It's a little narrow entrance. We're using the north channel, the narrow entrance, to go in. Things have calmed right down now. It's lovely. It's about midnight. You can see how light it is considering it's midnight. We made it to Balta Sound at 1:45 this morning. We came in down the channel, which was lit, past the fish farms and down southwest of the pier over there. Unfortunately there was a boat anchored there, and there was a couple of buoys and a fish farm there, which meant it wasn't possible for us to anchor down there, so we came back up to the little bay a little bit further east. Good holding in sand in about 7 meters. We dropped anchor in Balta Sound on the island of Unst at about 1:45 this morning, not in our first choice but in a second choice, which appears to be really good holding.
We sailed past Muckle Flugga lighthouse and were fortunate to see the light shining, past Outstack and then round into Balta Sound, keeping about 3 miles off the coast to avoid the tide rips, which was a good choice because they were certainly ripping, shall we say, into Balta Sound, and put the anchor down. It wasn't particularly dark. It was about 1:45 when we dropped the anchor. We did have the torch out to shine on the small little buoys that are around, but it was light enough for us to see, to put our anchor down and be all nice and safe for the evening.
Happy days.